Okay, it looks like we are live. We're in a testing space right now. Absolutely, in the Emerging Warrior group, using a dual broadcast from an external source, because as many of you know, Facebook has stopped letting us do dual broadcasts within here. So I'm just going to check on my phone, see what's going on, if anything's coming up. And hopefully, if you are jumping on a little early, we'll wait and just let people come in. And I will, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Let's see if I can hear it. I don't want the feedback. Da, da, da. Yay! Okay, a few seconds delay on here, but we're all good. So anyone coming in, let us know where in the world you're watching from. We can see comments, but we may not be able to see names, and there should be some instructions on screen if you want to accept StreamYard for any future broadcasts and let people know who you are, and they'll be able to see your profile as well as your comments. We are live in the Emerging Warrior group. I'm Nadine Barrett, founder of this group, coach, author, and speaker, and I am joined by my wonderful guest. I don't know which way to go. That way, there we go. Get the mirror in right on here. Watching from London, and that is, Usha's here. Let's see, Johnny, lovely to see you. So good. You are another person. We were just talking about putting out good content in this time, stuff of value, things that are actually useful to people, and you're someone that definitely does that, very intentional with what you put out there and gives a lot of value for people. So yeah, connect with Johnny if you haven't already. I think everyone in this group has got something amazing to give, so do have a look at other people's profiles, see if it's something that you're really connecting with, and befriend them, because that's the whole point, right? Okay, I'll let Shauna come and do introductions in just a second. Just to let you know that we are talking about how to keep your family happy and healthy during these worrying times. We all know there is a current world pandemic. Even if you're watching this on replay, unless you're under a rock somewhere, you will know that happened. And it's throwing people out of all kinds of tailspins, just because the impact on our daily lives, our family lives, our routine, our work, our ability to move, travel, see the world. Holidays are cancelled, normal plans to go even area to area, city to city are no longer possible. I think they said yesterday, a quarter of the world is on full lockdown. So other people are in varying states of that, but a quarter of the world suddenly told, just don't leave the house. So it's going to make us a little anxious as adults, but imagine what it's doing to your own children, family, in your extended family. You might be living with extended family, have neighbors with kids. It kind of affects our whole community. So we can delve into that a little bit, but we're really going to keep on the positive side of things and see how we can get you some tips and tricks and activities and ideas for routines. And I know Shauna did a video recently on her normal page about this for her business. So there's definitely things you can tap into out there, and we'll be putting some links later on. So welcome, Shauna. How are you today? Where are you?
Thank you. Hola, everybody. I am hailing from Cleveland, Ohio in the United States, and we are officially, the entire state is on lockdown till April 6th. We got our orders this past Monday. Mm-hmm. So yes, we are in the house.
Us officially on Monday. We were kind of restricted before, but full measures came in this week. But we're the whole country, whereas I know the USA is split state by state, has different rules.
State by state, and some states are doing city by city. So like in Colorado, one of the bigger cities was on lockdown for almost 2 weeks now, where smaller areas like Colorado Springs are still flexible. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's different.
Okay, so yeah, a little bit different. Nice to get a global perspective on this. Like I say, come in, let us know where you're watching from, what's going on with you. If you have any questions, comments, drop those, and we will see them in the comments bar as well. So you are, well, in fact, you tell us who you are. What do you do?
So my name is Shauna Hibbits, and I am the creator of an online platform called eNanny Link, which is an all comprehensive tools for everything childcare for families. I'm all about empowering the families all the way down to the children. I've been an early childhood bilingual specialist of over 25 plus years. Yo hablo inglés, yo hablo español también. I learn both languages at the same time. So I do utilize my Spanish gifts and talents within my brand as well. So I'm all about empowering and being a light source for families online, so that they can have a major resource area to lock into for anything that they need for their childcare needs. I am also nicknamed the Child Whisperer from my community.
Ooh, I like that. Get all the magic in there. So lots and lots of expertise in this green room. So sharing with you. And if you do come in live, and like I say, drop your comments. If you come in on the replay, please do write any questions you have as well, because obviously we're both in the groups. We can get back to those if we happen to miss you. So I guess delving into this, how would you advise talking to your children about current affairs? Because there's so much going on at the moment, and I guess news changes constantly wherever you are in the world. Some things they take notice of, some they don't. Is there a good approach to kind of keep them informed but not burden them?
Yes, that is the best way. So the first thing I always advise is to just stay calm. The number one thing that children recognize in us is our body language. So you could say something out of your mouth, but the child is reading your body language to see if it's matching up with what you're talking about. Like, everything's going to be okay, you know. So you want to, try to get your body in a calm state when you are delivering news to your children. At this point, we have already, your children have their, excuse me, my dog is needing my attention. So if you hear her growling in the background. Yeah. So at this stage, our children, I'm sorry.
Bring her in.
Yeah. Come here. Oh my goodness. She wants me to play. Oh my goodness.
See, like children, pets are just.
Oh my goodness. 1 second.
No worry. So for any of you out there with pets at home, they can also pick up on, your mood, your vibe, your emotions, anything going on. So definitely apply these kind of tips of keeping yourself calm to keeping everybody in your household calm as well.
Exactly. They pick up on the vibe. So that's the first thing you want to do, is make sure that you are calm when you're delivering news, which obviously your children already know basically the basics of what's going on right now, because they're not in school and we've had to give them some type of explanation. And I feel bad for some parents, because some of the news got to their children before they could tell their children, so you're living in a different world today, where today's parent is competing with so much noise that's coming to your children, sometimes before you can even get them prepared in the manner that you wish to have them prepared. Some parents are just have to stay on your feet almost, because when the questions start coming and, you're like, oh, I just walked in the door. I didn't know that my child knew about this, heard about this. It's just so much coming at them with social media and the world at everybody's, fingertips and in our ears today. So once you get past, and these tips can be used for any current affair, because let's face it, this is not the first or the last thing that we're going to be going through, maybe not on this magnitude, but there will be things happening that's going to affect our household. It's just the way it is. This is our world today. So once you get past that, then you want to tune out the noise. Okay. So you want, right now in the stage that we're in, you want to create a nice, safe, loving, fun environment for your child, inside or outside in your perimeter. If you have a yard, front yard, or some outdoor space where you're not, because we're doing our social distancing right now, right? Yeah. So you want to create some type of, I know that we have children at home with packets this thick. I feel for those families that are working from home at the same time and having to teach their children at the same time. So I have a few families that follow me, and some of the things that are techniques that I've given them is, when you set up your home, office area, if they're younger, you may need to have them set up close by. If they have a tent, if they have a sleeping bag, set them up with little stations. So the younger child doesn't quite get that you have to be on the computer all the time, that you have to be on conference calls, that so I encourage you, if possible, to set mini stations up with activities that they can work with by themselves. And you can use a timer, like a microwave timer or timer on their tablets if they have one. And when it dings, then they can go on to the next activity, to try to buy yourself 20 to 25 chunks of time to get some work done.
Yeah.
I read a book called, I think it's called The 4-Hour Work Week.
Yeah, that's it.
The biggest thing that I took away from that book, I believe that was by Tim Ferriss. The biggest thing that I took away from that book is how much idle time we waste during the day with work, with our jobs. And if we do smaller chunks of concentrated time, we literally will get more done. So if you can try to set your schedule up in a way where your child is doing small concentrated chunks, you're doing small concentrated chunks, you may be able to get the bulk of your work done maybe in a half a day, So that's for the younger child. For the older child, I would encourage, they still need attention. Even though they're self-disciplined, they can do their homework, they can find activities. It's still a great bonding time for you to experience with your children. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to have that time. There's so many positives with what's going on right now. You can have an organization party. I always make it into a party where we have to organize. We put on music. We pick an area we're going to work on together, and we get it done. With your preteens or your tweens, you can have them go searching for ways or things that they like on Pinterest or on YouTube that speaks to them on how they might want to set up their room, their closets, their drawers, and things of that nature. And then you could do a whole house challenge in like 7 days, where you can do one room a day, or you could do it in small chunks and do small areas a day if that's too much, depending on what's going on. Another activity right now is we have to eat in. We have to cook more.
My God,
two things I'm dying is eating out and traveling right now. It's killing me.
That's why I said, I was like, why can't I go out and eat? I'm just like, I know, even today, I baked myself a Victoria sponge cake. I had some just before a little afternoon tea by myself, as you do, just before I came on. Now I'm like, I want to eat the whole cake. Like, this is real. There's some struggles going on.
Yes, you want to try to keep on the healthy foods. You want to try, even though it's stressful times, we want to work hard not to start running to like stressful foods, like too much of fatty stuff and things that will not be so healthy for our bodies. Because when we come out of this, we want to make sure that we've been working on our mind, bodies, and souls, and our children as well. And I'm a big time believer in parents crafting, creating, and scheduling me time as best as possible. And it doesn't have to be this big, grandiose, large thing. It can be small pockets of time during the day. You can set your timer off, take 5 minutes and just breathe, One of my things as a parent, and I'll be real honest with you, the bathroom was my best friend. Because I was in the bathroom all the time, for my child to get that time in. Because when you have the child that's your shadow, that shadow age, so that's how I used to get my mental space. And then I used to hang a tag on the outside of my door. If I hung the tag on the outside of the door, he knew he had to give me 5 minutes. And then when I rang a bell, he can come in, and talk to me, just give mommy a minute, give me some breather time. So you want to come up with small pockets. Again, this is great bonding, but also it can cause a little bit more anxiety if you're not used to being with your family this many hours a day.
Wow, that's it, isn't it? I'm just going to check in on the comments because we've got Jonathan and Grace from London. Angela Mariah's here. She's in the USA as well. Carlene Smith is here. Whereabouts are you at the moment, Carlene? Who else did I see? There was a couple of other names that have jumped off the screen. Apologies if I've missed you. So we've got Love the Sound of This Organisation Party. I think, yeah, transforming your home in 7 days. If you're on your own, like me, if you've got kids, if you're with your partner, like you could all do this in different forms, take an area at a time, all those jobs you've been putting off, like get it done. Or like you say, get that inspiration and do something completely new. Maybe you've got some paint left in the garage or somewhere that you could suddenly freshen up, you know, a certain area of your home, and why not use it to your advantage right now? So Carlene is in Canada, safe at home in Canada. Wonderful. Glad for that. I'm very well, thank you. And we're just diving into the topic. So do stay with us, because some of these, like the tips about taking 5 minutes to breathe, maybe you could set an alarm, you know, notification, or get Alexa just to remind you in the middle of the day to just stop and pause.
That would be so beautiful. Why not? We have technology at our fingertips. We need to use it. It's our personal assistance for everything that we need today, right?
Yeah. So Alexa's reminded me to drink water, so might as well extend it. Oh, great stuff. So I know in one of your recent broadcasts, you had how to prepare a child for an emergency, which I thought was just something to really touch on. So those times where maybe they need to call an emergency service or something happens at home. What did you recommend for that?
So I recommend, since we are going through all of this, and again, this would need to be at a time where you cut down the noise around your child, because we don't want to cause any extra anxiety. I feel it's very important to have emergency plans in place. A lot of times our children are learning this at school, and we forget to think about putting that and implementing something, having something on a regular where you can practice, such as a fire drill. You know, if something happened at home and there was a fire, where does the family meet? You know, what do we take with us? How do we behave in our home? At school, they know where to go, what to do, because they're always having, you know, fire drills like that. You know, if something happened to someone in the home, God forbid, right now, with everything going on, like you mentioned before, we don't know who's watching your children. You know, there could be, you know, you could have some elderly grandparents that's watching them, senior citizens. We don't know where children are, and children need to know how to take care of themselves in the event of an emergency. And we need to talk to our children about this and put some things into practice.
Well, that's so amazing. And it's so true what you said about, you know, at work or at school, you know where your contact person is, you know where to go and stand, and people are going to find you. But we don't often run through those things at home because we just assume everybody will figure it out, or somebody knows the number or whatever. But like you say, especially if other people are in the home watching them while you're out to work, that's just a key skill. So hopefully everyone can get that one implemented, or put a plan in place for yourself, your partner, your kids, as we're thinking about that going forward. So I think at this time, it's really important, there's a bit of time to obviously have the duvet day, to kind of let it all out, cry, get all of that stuff out, but then get back into a routine so we can just keep as healthy as possible. How do you kind of build a really good routine with children in tow? Because like you say, sometimes they don't know why you have to be doing the things you're doing to get on with your life, but they're there and they want attention. Let's go with it.
So with your routine, and it's important to have some type of routine. Children need structure. Structure is why and how they thrive in school. Structure is how our babies and toddlers can dictate their schedule. You know, structure is very, very important to be able to predict. At this time, with everything that's going on, I would recommend a very loose, relaxed, structured type days, so that it alleviates stress on yourself. So what you may or may have expected while they were in their school days may be different now. So we might have to be flexible in our approach, how we handle the day with them. You know, I'm hearing some parents are allowing their children to sleep in because they actually are operating, functioning, and working better during the day when they do that. I'm hearing parents saying, I'm keeping them on the 6 o'clock wake up so that when this all, you know, changes, you know, they'll still be on schedule, or my child operates better between those hours. So I think this is when you need to really tap into your children's zone of genius and your zone of genius, and figure out how to set a schedule up that fits. If you know that you do, if you know you need, you're unable to get that me time before they wake up, then your me time needs to be earlier. Like you may need to give yourself 30 minutes before they wake up. There are children that wake up and they're nonstop. There's nothing. Right away, jump into it. Let's go. We hitting this day. They don't have that mindset like we do. Like I need a moment, or that comes later. Then you have some children that are able to relax, unwind before they can get into their day. So you need to tap into your child's zone of genius, which is just how they function, how they operate through their gifts and their talents, and where in the pockets of the day can they do their very best, and you meet them, and then your days will be more harmonious when you do that. You're able to do that. So every day, everybody's schedule will be different.
Yeah, and I love that, not putting pressure on everybody to think it needs to be like the school day or like their work day, because it doesn't work the same when you're trying to fit everything in. And actually trying to help your kids with homework is really hard these days. That's all I can say. Like I've seen my nieces and nephews and I'm like, what are you doing? I don't even understand. We've got a comment from Johnny. Just before I read that, I just want to touch on what you said actually about the sleep times, because it just reminded me of, especially with the teenage brain, the way it develops, especially if your teenagers are naturally, you're thinking, why are they so inclined to just sleep right now? They need 12 hours sleep. That's biological. Their brain starts to change during development, and they naturally are more inclined to sleep until midday. And that's the way that they function. That's the way they work better. So actually, this might be a good time to give them a bit of a lay and let them do their work a little later on in the day. They can still get it done. They're not going anywhere. And they can kind of switch up their routine. I mean, over here, we're only a week away from the Easter holidays anyway, so routine would have been out the window. But just understand that biologically, for most kids, we're pushing them out of what they should naturally be doing by trying to fit them into a structured day at school, because they're not meant to sit and concentrate for hours on end and be still and be working to our time. So this might be a good time to experiment with that. So Johnny says, this resonates with me, especially when my children were younger. Kids love stories, so I try to find a way to tell a story about what I'm doing in my business and relate it to being able to go to Disney World or being able to spend more time to do the things and have the things they want. Really good. They need to feel and be reminded that they are part of your why. They deal with it better when you have to do some work, go to a meeting, because they can relate it to their quality of life. Any comments on that?
Awesome stuff, Johnny. Johnny is a great parent, and he definitely understands how to bridge the gap between his entrepreneur business and his family life. And it's doable. You just have to coach them. You have to teach them. They have to come to an understanding. And as long as they are a part of your world, like he said, your why, and they clearly understand why you're doing it. And I tell you, and I said this before, my son, when he got older, he told my husband and I how much he appreciated watching us doing our entrepreneurship goals and rocking, all of that as a little guy. And we would include him on everything that we did. We talked to him. So as he got older, he understood children are resilient. Like they know more than we give them credit for, and they clearly understand. They understand. A 3-year-old can understand, So we have to understand that they get it, and they want to be a part of our team. And we have to do everything that we need to do, instead of being like this and keeping them on the outskirts because we're too worried about, I got to take care of over here. We need to be inclusive in what we're doing, right? That way they understand. And Nadine, you work with teens, and you know how teens feel when they're included in planning and things of that nature. It makes children feel really good and responsible. All of the skills and gifts that we want them to have, right? So we might as well just let them have it instead of trying to do it ourselves. And then, right? So, yes.
Great. And one more. This is from Angela Mariah. My daughter was the one to wake up and chill. So she's had one child on each side, I think. And her son was, if his eyes were open, he was on. So a bit of everything there that you've had.
I'm glad you had. I'm glad she had one of one instead of like
And I know
two
your
on her.
daughter's just had a birthday, so happy birthday to her. I hope she managed to do something to really celebrate as well. Okay, Jake is with us as well. Hello, hello. Anyone else I have missed? Do keep dropping your comments in the bar and we will pick them up as we go along. So we talked about emergencies. We've talked about trying to keep a good routine or building a routine that fits for you, and also talking to your children about, current affairs. Have you got any kind of tips or advice around activities you can recommend, either to add into a day if you're trying to like build your timetable, you've got a whiteboard, you're trying to get all structured, or just things to break up the day to make them a little more enjoyable?
So for me, I feel like, so I'm conducting a 3-day workshop in my parenting lounge that I have right now. Today will be day 3 with the members' children, and it's a Zoom call online, and I spend an hour with them. And it was a way to help the parent break up the day and understand that it's okay to take an hour to do fun things. You don't want them to be just on this regiment. They're going to crack. They're going to crack. It's going to show. And it doesn't matter how old your child is, teen, preteen, single digit age. That's the last thing you want, because you don't want to have to deal with all of that, right? So the best thing is to make sure that they get their it's kind of like a me time for them, because fun time is that's children's lives. And I think that's one of the reasons why I always stayed in this world, is because I love to have fun and I don't want to stop having fun. And I don't feel like just because I'm an adult, I have to stop having fun. But I find that working with children, I can stay in the element of fun, most of the time. So you definitely want to break it up and include them. Sit down and talk to them. Ask them, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a movie night together? How about we binge Netflix? Do you want to do some YouTube science experiments? Is one of the things I've been doing in my 3-day workshop. So the children and so I'm doing it on my end, but they're taking guesses, educated guesses of what's going to happen, with the experiment. Today I have some magic tricks planned for them. We did vision boards together. So ask them what do they want to do, or go online and make some suggestions to them and try to fit that in some kind of way. Another great thing is cooking together, pulling out recipes and cooking. So you don't want it, parents, what you want is you want your day to flow so harmonious that it doesn't seem like work, right? When you're working with your child, that you're having fun. You almost have to take off the work hat and put on your fun hat. And there was a time where I created this hat and I stapled it and I had like these fringes on it. And every time some of the children that I watched, they saw different parts of Miss Shauna. They saw this disciplinary Miss Shauna, teacher Miss Shauna. So they wanted to make sure I stayed in the element of fun most of the day. They would ask me to put this hat on. So they made this hat for me. And so they're like, Miss Shauna, this is who we want today, all day today. Yeah. So, okay. So when we ate, we did picnics. If you have an opportunity, you have a yard and the weather is nice, let's eat outside. There's so many different things that you can do that doesn't seem like it's like you're doing something extra or stressing out the day. You want it to be just so fun and harmonious.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So many good things in there. And hopefully you're keeping some of these in your mind, or you're jotting your favorite ones down. And if you've tried anything this week, or if you're homeschooling, you usually do this, or you're great at organizing holiday times, do let us know what you do in your own homes that kind of keep you going, keep everyone connected, doing these great activities. I think cooking together is a really, really good one, getting all messy, trying things out, and then you get to also have that end product, like you've achieved something together, which is really, really nice. And just thinking about also the recommendations and things, are there any extra things you can do just to keep a happy and healthy environment for everybody? Do you encourage children to kind of take part in exercise with their parents and do other things, or everybody have a little bit of time by themselves?
Everyone should have time by themselves. That's very, very, very important. I'm a firm believer on that. And for parents, I stress that you do a pause and connect within yourself. So you want to take some times where you just pause and just connect with yourself, whether it's stretching, the breathing exercises we were talking about, meditating, even if it's for a minute or two. There's an article floating around online, and it spoke about how much time a parent actually has to themselves. And this is even when their children were in school. And that is 30 minutes.
Oh, a day.
Mm-hmm. And that is like, whoa. And so now you might as well say that 30 minutes is gone. The children are home. So in order to stay sane and keep your sanity, you have to try to implement such things as pause and connecting with yourself. I remember there were times when I was working with children with my private clients, I would close my eyes and they knew that I would put my hand up like this and they're like, okay, Miss Shauna's taking her break. So I'm like, and everyone would I said, when I do this, I just need everyone to be silent and just give Miss Shauna 2 minutes, And they thought it was cool. So yes, involving them in your yoga exercise class, your Pilates class, whatever you're doing, exercise as a family. This is a time to just do everything together, incorporate them some kind of way. But I stress that everybody does have their me time, their individual time. There should be rest periods implemented. And even if they're young, I know a family, she's like, I have to have her in their house is too big for her 4-year-old to just be away in her room from her office.
Okay,
so I said,
safe. Yeah.
Yes, for safety reasons, bring her tent and her sleeping bag in your office or in the hall where you can see her or hear her. Set the timer, give her books. She doesn't have to go to sleep. Everybody doesn't have to take a nap. You just need a rest period. You just need a pause. And you don't even have to use those words because children cringe at nap or rest. That's like, that is, the world is, the world is over if you use those words. So pick a different word. You know what? We're going to pause as a family. We'll reconnect in 45 minutes. Meet everybody here, and you go, you get your break, you unplug, you unwind, and you come back together as a family. I also encourage when you're doing these activities with your children, not only do you include them in the planning and you're involved with them, I also believe in children helping you cleaning up. So when you have that recipe and you have that cooking activity, you have someone rinsing the dishes off, you have someone, wiping down the counters. And even if they're not the best at it, just allowing them to take part in that. That is another way of teaching our children of how to care for themselves.
Oh, that is so good. And even just the word pause, it's like, you can just feel your body like, oh, okay, I can just chill for a second. So that's a really interesting one. Just seeing if I've missed anything. Just lots of emojis coming on. That's great. Everybody's locked in. And anyone watching this on the replay, like I say, do still drop your comments or questions in and we'll be able to pick them up afterwards. I think just to have that time to yourself, have the time together. This is all, like you say, it's an amazing gift. I know it wasn't our choice and it's out of our control, but if we can use this to our advantage, because, whatever's thrown at you, you have to still make the best possible use of it. Some people have been praying for weeks, for months that they had some time at home or they had some time to go through that pile of paperwork on the floor that they've left there, or they just wanted a bit of time to nap. Like adults love napping, forget kids. Like, you want to rest, you want to rejuvenate, you want it to be at home. This is just a bit of time to concentrate on those things that you haven't been able to get to or you've neglected, or just have some quality time like in a space that you've created. It's amazing.
Yes. Really, and if it's a space that you need to recreate it. I redid my closet because I wanted a little pop of inspiration. Nice. So just, change it up, create a Zen table. I encourage parents to create a Zen table for yourselves where you may have candles, a waterfall on there, just different pieces, that things in life that means so much to you that you appreciate when you walk past. It gives you love and you get love from it. So yes, absolutely. So we've got lots of really great nuggets of wisdom, something for me to take forward. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. And my son, now 14, just said last night that he now realizes the time when he had a nap time was the life. Yes. I told him. That's beautiful revelation.
14 wise. They said wait until you're an adult and realize high school was really the life. That's it, because you kind of want to skip past all these phases and you don't realize how amazing they are. Like nursery, napping, doing puzzles. That was amazing.
It was hands-on activities, which leads me to one more thing we want to talk about, and that's screens. So now we already had an issue with screen time. So now we have a bigger issue with screen time. Unfortunately, a lot of parents, that's their babysitter, is their children being glued to the screens. So we want to, not for the older child, the older child, you may have some things in place for your teens and your preteens, but for your younger one that you don't want additional screen time, you want to put those screens on the schedule.
Okay.
So certain things I created when my nieces and nephews came over, we created a docking station. So when it was dinner time or meal time, everybody docked their phones in this area. It was a basket, and we just all chucked them away, because if we took them at the table, we were all going to peek. We were going to look at our phones. We were going to check out something. And then that lost the meaningful engagement that you have for meal times, right? So you want to try to use your screens or whatever really gets your child going at the time that you need it the most. So say you have a conference call for 45 minutes, save that screen time for your call at conference time. Get their headsets, their earbuds, have them situated at that time. Because if you give it to them too much before that, and then you want them to use it, they're not going to want to use it when you want them, because they've already used it. So you need to, it's kind of like an element of surprise, like, oh, I get to have my screen time right now, So you want to try to schedule screen time so that, we don't get so.
Yeah, and that's probably good for all of us right now. We're not trying to sort of be on everything all the time. Just switch off. Give your eyes a rest as well.
Right.
Great stuff. Oh, this has just been so useful. And I think whatever age you are, even if you haven't got kids or they're young or they're older, there are so many things you can implement at home right now to keep that happy, harmonious state. Add in those things to just make it more healthy, more enjoyable. Like I say, recreate the space. And I'm loving that picture you've got behind you as well. It's just stunning.
Thank you. Really. And I have my London mug.
Yay!
So I think everyone on here knows that I went to London in January, which is crazy that it's only been 2 months. It feels like forever with everything that has gone on. And I had an opportunity to stay with Nadine and spend time with Charlotte and Grace and the whole London crew. So it was amazing. So yes.
Great timing as well. You got home.
It was. I'm so glad I made it over there. I'm so grateful for all my trips. I'm like, I'm so, because I'm fulfilled. I do want my travel life back. My travel life and my restaurants. Those are the two things that, but I'm going to pause and connect right now. I'm going to pause and connect.
all in good time. So Shauna, where can people keep in touch with you?
Sure. So we have a couple of links that we're dropping here. So I've written 25 activities for the whole family, plus a bonus video. We have the link. Are we able to put it is it actually in the comment fields, Nadine?
I will add it in afterwards to the top of the title.
Okay, so Nadine will add that in there for you, so you can have that as a resource that you could tap into. There may be some activities on there that I haven't mentioned on this video. And also, I would like to invite anyone that's looking for an online site to hang out at. You could be with me every day in my membership site called the Parenting Lounge. And in there, this is what we do every week. Every week we have face-to-face parenting lives. We have monthly special guests in there. We are on a platform called Mighty Network, so it's not Facebook. So it's a little less, there isn't any noise, any trolls, or any like advertising, things of that nature. We get straight to, the content. You're with me daily. I craft out content with the parent in mind, and we're having a really great time. So tonight is Cyber Game Night. So I create and we do a Zoom call. I share my screen and we actually play games with the parents. So it's been fun. It's been open for 2 months now. And due to the economic climate and everything that's going on, I know that we need online spaces like this. We need more me time like this. Mm-hmm. So I've decided to continue the membership at $9.99 through June 1st. So we will welcome open arms. We're having a blast in there. And yeah, come join the parenting lounge. So she would also have the link for that as well.
So I'll put in the free activity list link, the membership lounge at $9.99 a month. So you're getting hands-on experience, expertise, story time, doing everything in there. A way for parents to really get some expert advice from you, which is great. Charlotte has jumped on a couple of minutes ago. Thank you for coming in. It doesn't matter. You can watch the replay. I know Charlotte is also at home with a baby under 9 months old and a 10-year-old. That's a lot to handle whilst working from home anyway. So, you know, you managing to get on a tour, it's a miracle. Yes. Up to you. Much needed space. Thank you for creating it. That's for you, Shauna.
Gracias. Thank you.
And Charlotte says it's a great membership. So lots of good positive feedback there already. So for everybody here that's tuned in, I want to thank you so much. We will have some more sessions coming up. I'm hoping to set up a yoga one for next week, motivational talk for the week after. And I'm going to do some, I'm not sure if it'll be a live meditation. I might record one and do a watch party with you so I can actually join in at the same time. I'll figure it out, but stuff to keep us going while you're at home. You know, it's the Easter holidays coming up. Want to really think about how you're thinking of recreating, rebirthing, re-emerging into that new spring spirit, cleaning up all areas of your life, not just your physical space.
Nice.
Really just going into the rest of the year feeling like we're just in the right season and you're ready and we're pushing forward and we're going to come out the other end of this being stronger and better and everything, just better in all ways. All yoga, yes. So I will, once I confirm the time, I will drop an event in here and do keep an eye out for that as well. So if there's things that I haven't mentioned that you think would be really good to have in the group, things that you're struggling with or stuff you just want to try or know more about, then let me know as well. If you've got any particular questions for me or Shauna, put those in here. We will get back to you and I will drop those links in as soon as this broadcast is finished. You can go and get that free activity list to try it at home and connect with Shauna in that parenting lounge and see what that's all about as well.
40. Thank you. This was great.
Woo! That blow. We both wore black without even knowing. It was just like, yeah.
Yes. My London sister.
Okay, one more comment before we go. Great live. Thank you both for sharing this amazing live. To all tuned in, I hope you and your families are safe and well. More life, more blessings. That is from you, from us to everybody. If you need something, if you're feeling a little anxious, a little low, just reach out. Got plenty of time to give you all the love and support that you need. So do not suffer alone. Do not feel like you're spiraling out of control. It is all good. Take that moment to pause and breathe, as Shauna said. Get 5 minutes for yourself, even if it means locking yourself in the bathroom. Do it. do it. Thank you so much. You've been amazing. So much content, so much value in there. And it's been an honor to have you.
Gracias. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you all soon.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.